Not because I was restrained, not because anyone was stopping me, but because my mind refused to catch up with reality. Hundreds of people kneeling in front of me, a glowing locket around my neck I'd never seen before yesterday. A wolf symbol hovering in the air above my head like I was some kind of chosen one in a game I never agreed to play. I'm going to be very clear about something. I am not a chosen one. I am a 23-year-old game developer from Tokyo who fell off a bridge 3 days ago and apparently died. Or didn't die. I'm still not sure which is worse. An orphan. A girl who spent her entire life alone, avoiding people, surviving a childhood that taught me one thing: depend on no one, trust no one, need no one. And now, in a single moment, I'm being called a queen, engaged to an empress, heir to a lost empire that apparently only exists in a world I had no idea was real. What kind of twisted game is this? Episode 3, The Crown That Chose Her. Around me, the whole remained frozen in shock. No one moved, no one spoke, even the Empress, the woman who looked like she had never been caught off guard in her entire life, had no words. I had no category for her either. She was significant, I'll say that much. Ice blue eyes, perfect posture, the kind of compose that only comes from spending your entire life never once needing anyone's approval. I recognized it because I'd spent my entire life building the same thing. But someone moved, a man I barely recognized from earlier, Calum Vireth, the one who had been crying at my feet while calling me his queen, which, for the record, is the single most disorienting sentence I have ever heard in my life. Apparently, he is one of the most powerful mages in this world, the most loyal, and also apparently prone to weeping at important moments. Great, no pressure.
Inform the Dominion. Your queen has returned. Prepare for her arrival.
Wait, what? He's telling people? More people? He just sent a magical announcement to an entire empire. An empire I've known existed for approximately 15 minutes, saying that I, specifically, am their queen and I'm coming. Oh God, this is getting so much worse.
Come with me, Your Majesty. There is much you need to understand.
I looked at him. Then I looked at the Empress. Our eyes met. And for a second, I forgot what I was going to think. Something passed between us. Unspoken, complicated, neither of us ready to name it. Under that perfect ice-cold mask she wore. Was she worried? About me leaving the room with him? Was that possessiveness? Or just an Empress annoyed at losing control of a situation for the first time in her life? I didn't know. So I did what I always do when things get too complicated. I moved. Before I could feel it. I didn't look back. But I felt it. The sound of a hand gripping a throne armrest. Tight. Like she was making sure she stayed where she was. I don't know why that mattered to me. It did. He took me to a private chamber. Ancient. The walls were covered in tapestries showing battles I didn't recognize. Empires I didn't know existed. Creatures I'd only ever put into games. Maps on every surface. Artifacts on every shelf. The kind of room where world-changing decisions get made. And where people like me realize, slowly and with growing horror, exactly how small their understanding of reality has been.
I know you are not from this world, so I will explain. This realm is divided into 5 great empires and 10 sovereign kingdoms. The 3 great empires, the Silver Wolf Dominion, your empire, lost 500 years ago, once the greatest power this world had ever known. The Luminara Elven Empire, ancient, magical, timeless. They do not age, they do not forget, and they do not forgive easily. The Drakarian Dragon Empire, ruled by dragon lords. Kael'thar Virnox commands them now, dangerous, proud, useful if handled correctly.
Oh, great. The asshole with the dragon has an entire empire. Fantastic.
The Astrix Celestial Empire, devoted to divine magic and prophecy. They saw your return before any of us. They have been waiting. And the Valthorn Shadow Empire, masters of stealth, intelligence, and war strategy. You will never see them coming. That is the point.
5 empires, 10 kingdoms, an entire world structured around power I didn't know existed.
These 10 kingdoms all look to the great empires for balance, protection, and leadership. When one empire falls, everything tilts. Everything suffers.
Your empire is waiting for air for 500 years ago. And this world has been holding its breath ever since. I stared at the map, at the territory marked Silver Wolf Dominion. Massive, spanning more land than any kingdom alone. Once the center of everything.
Still, the Dominion is the powerful among all, but without a heir.
I design fantasy worlds. I build the lore. I write the map descriptions. I have never once in my entire career thought I should go rule one of these. And the bloodline? She had no heirs?
She did. They were hidden, protected across generations, scattered across worlds, some say, until the line could be recovered. Until you.
Until me. 512 years of an empty throne. And somehow the universe decided the answer was a broke game developer who stress eats ramen and hasn't taken a vacation in 3 years.
This is the grimoire of the Silver Wolf Dominion, the knowledge of your empire, its magic, its history, its power. Every spell cast by every queen of your bloodline, recorded, preserved, waiting. It is yours. By blood, by right. Touch it.
Then he chanted,
Veltharan, Silverus, Luminar, Ethel.
Sure, what could go wrong? My hand hovered over it. Every rational part of my brain said, don't. You don't know what this does. You don't know what you're agreeing to. You have had 1 hour in this world, and every single one of them has ended with you losing consciousness. But something else was speaking too. Something underneath logic, underneath fear. Something that had always been there. The thing that drove me to train alone at 4 a.m. The thing that made me reach for gold medals, not for praise, but because something in me needed to prove it was strong enough to survive alone. That thing recognized the book, and it reached out before I could stop it. Everything exploded. Magic, power, surging through my body like lightning through water. Too much, too fast, I couldn't. Visions, ancient battles, armies carrying wolf banners through burning fields. Spells I had no name for tearing through enemy lines. Power that made the ground shake. Kings, queens, my ancestors. I knew them somehow, felt them. Faces I'd never seen and voices I'd never heard. And I knew them the way you know your own heartbeat. The rise of the Silver Wolf Dominion. I lived it in seconds. The wars, the treaties, the empire at its height. Dragons bowing, demons fleeing. A throne that held the world in balance. Memories that weren't mine. Knowledge I'd never learned. Power I didn't ask for. All of it pouring into me at once, like trying to pour an ocean into a cup. I couldn't hold it. I can't. It's too much.
What did you do?
She must awaken her power. The grimoire chose her. The knowledge is rightfully.
She is mine. You do not touch what is mine without my permission. Ever.
Her voice, the Empress. I could hear her through the haze. She sounds angry. No, furious. The controlled kind of furious. The kind that has decided exactly what it's going to do and is only choosing when. Why? Why does she care? I'm just a political asset, right? A bloodline she needed to marry for power. That's all I am in this situation. Right? Holding me. Her arms around me, firm and certain like someone who had decided something and wasn't negotiating with it. I could smell her. Ice and something that might have been lilac. Cold, but not cold. Somehow. Comforting. Which made no sense. This woman had looked at me like a chessboard piece since the moment I arrived. And now she was holding me like she was angry at the floor for letting me hit it. Not magic, not power, just her.
Arya.
You came.
Of course I did. You should rest.
I can feel them, all of them, everyone who came before me. I know what I have to do.
Good.
Come with me.
Where?
To finish this. She didn't hesitate. Neither did I. Our hands fit together like something that had always known the shape. I didn't think about that. I had a council to command. The room felt different when I walked in. The grimoire's power was still moving through me, settling, organizing, becoming mine, rather than overwhelming me. And the voices of 500 years of queens were very quietly saying, head up, shoulders back, you are the room. And then I commanded, priest,
Your Majesty!
prepare the marriage ceremony.
Your Majesty, the traditional preparations alone require.
I was not asking about preparations. I am telling you, we do not have time for tradition. The bond must be completed before the demon army arrive. The marriage happens now.
Then it shall be done.
No debate, no resistance. They obeyed me. Empress watching me and spoke to me.
You've changed.
I remembered who I was. I didn't fully understand what that meant yet, but I was starting to. I had never imagined my wedding. Orphans don't, usually. When you're 8 years old moving between foster homes, the concept of my wedding feels like a word from a language no one taught you, like something for other people, people with families, people who belonged somewhere. But if I had imagined it, it wouldn't have been this. Thousands of candles burning in a temple old enough to predate written history. Statues of gods watching from the walls. 7 of them, each the size of a building. The air itself felt different, heavy with something ancient and intentional. And her, the Empress, stood at the altar beside me, composed as ever. Regal, certain, the most powerful woman in this world. But her eyes kept moving. To me. Just briefly. Like someone who had every inch of themselves under control except for one small thing she couldn't help. I noticed I didn't say anything.
In this ceremony, the magic does not ask. It judges. It reaches into bloodline, into power, into truth older than crowns or kingdoms or the memories of men. The stronger bloodline claims. The mark is given. The bond is sealed forever.
Everyone in that room assumed they knew what would happen. So did she. The Empress had been the most powerful mage alive since birth. Had never been second to anyone. Had never lost. The claiming was always going to be hers. I was, by any reasonable measure, not the obvious choice. Place your hands upon the orb, and then the wolf appeared. Not an image, not a symbol painted on stone. A living thing made of gold and silver light, burning, pulsing, alive. And it moved. Not toward me, towards her. Everyone expected her to claim me. She expected it too. And instead, the mark of the silver wolf dominion seared itself into her shoulder, glowing, hers to carry forever.
You marked me.
The magic did, but I didn't fight it.
I see.
The magic has spoken. The bond is forged. I present the queens of the Silver Wolf Dominion. All hail the queens!
Queens, plural. I still didn't fully understand what that meant, but for the first time since I fell into this world, I wasn't afraid of it. The temple was behind us, the corridors of the castle ahead. Attendants lead with their candles, silent and respectful and very obviously trying not to stare. I was still in full armor. The wolf crest was still glowing. I had been conscious for maybe an hour, and I was already someone's wife. She walked beside me, quietly. The mark on her shoulder was still faintly warm. I could tell by the way she carried herself, slightly different, like something new was settling into place. She kept glancing at me, brief, like she was checking something I let her. I didn't have the energy to pretend I hadn't noticed.
You should rest after tonight. The transfer alone would have broken most people. What you absorbed from that grimoire, it will take time to integrate.
I need the War Council assembled.
Tonight?
Tonight.
You cannot lead a war on no sleep and borrowed power.
Send word to every lord in this dominion, every general, every ally present within these walls. The War Council convenes before dawn. I felt her eyes on my back, worried. I knew that. But there was something else in that gaze too. I felt it, even with my back turned. Something complicated and warm and proud, like someone watching something she didn't expect to feel anything about, and feeling everything.
My wife. That is my wife.
The War Council meets before dawn. The demon army is already moving. And somewhere out there, a general who has never been defeated is counting the hours. But first, I had a wife to argue with.
So, this is just the beginning. If you want to see what happens next, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss what's coming.
Trust me, you're going to want to see this.